What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about positive pressure. It's a must-have for any lab setup if you're trying to take this game seriously. This air intake in the top left there with the cut-up filter is how we bring the pressure in the air into the lab. Then it flows in through the piping and into this handmade HEPA filter flow hood that my friend made that we've just repurposed to our positive pressure. So this is forcing clean air into our lab at all times. Now we also have that bucket there where we have set up a positive pressure unit for our cooking trough. And so we have a pre-filter there, and then under that there's a HEPA filter that are just taped onto the bucket, and there's just a pipe intake at the bottom of there, and it goes up to a booster fan in the window. And so that runs out here to our sexy outside pipe that runs along the top of the ceiling there and then reduces down to 4 inches where it goes into our trough. And we've wrapped our trough here for the winter. So we went ahead and went with the boiler in the bottom of the trough, mainly because I kept having issues, I felt like, with efficiency when I had it outside. But it does take a considerable amount of space, and I am looking into doing a sauna steamer or some other options for using a boiler. So, but you can see we want to do year-round production here in Virginia, so we've wrapped this up with rock wool insulation for the winter to help trap the heat in better. We set the trough at a slight angle to help with the condensation drainage, and we've attached the pipe at the lowest point. This is the tri-clamp. You just loosen the nut and it releases the clamp from the intersection, and it's pretty straightforward. And then I just took a cap for 4-inch HVAC system and cut a hole in it and put a tri-clamp coupler. And so I've been sterilizing that. I'm not sure if it matters, but just trying to keep that HEPA clean filtered air side as clean as possible. So all you have to do is just put the cap on when you're done cooking and getting ready to knock, and cover that, and you've then flushed clean HEPA filtered air over your blocks as they're cooling until you not inoculate them, so you don't have to move them into your lab to cool down like a lot of large facilities do. Due to thermodynamics, when the blocks are cooling, they are sucking in the surrounding air and can suck in contamination. So we just cap this and work around this insulation. We just have that up for the winter because we've been running it all winter here. Even in the dead of winter, we kept our production up thanks to just wrapping it in saran wrap and rock wool. Is super easy fix, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody who wants to keep the train rolling. These boiler units, they're real bitch. If you haven't burned out an element yet and you're cooking with like a Bubba barrel style, you're extremely grateful and probably have really clean water. But our water is pretty, I don't know, it's actually pretty good, but it still has enough mineral content to gunk up these elements. And so I'm trying to work on pre-filtering the water as it goes in there. There's special filters for boilers, but this element burned out. I actually think that we had a pressure reducer going in to feed the barrel at the bottom that the element sits in, and I think the problem is the water ran, the pressure reducer got frozen by like a light freeze that I didn't take it in for, and that caused us to lose our pressure. And as the water dropped from boiling, then the element became exposed and burned it out. So this is just the act of hooking it up. I'm like running late to market, so I've hooked up our HEPA filter and I just turned it on. I have the booster fan on off right there outside of the lab. That steam is the steam of the vessel getting pushed out, and I just wanted to show y'all how cool that looks. It's a lot of energy being dumped right there, but it is a way to keep your blocks safe while they cool down without having to put them in the lab. So we have a similar system to those in our clean room lab where we do all our cultures. So this system is super easy to set up, and I highly recommend it for every mushroom farmer.